Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Sabbath class for the 5th of February, 2022. We'll be dealing with some information out of, connect some dots out of the book of Hosea for the end time. I'm asking everybody to like, share, subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel, and hit the notification button if you can. This is a non-Messianic channel for those that don't know. Tanakh and the Torah is what we deal with. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, the so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by our Redeemer and our Savior, Lord of Hosts. Welcome, shalom, and welcome everyone to the Prophets of Awakening channel. Welcome to our Sabbath class. We're going to do our moment of silence, Sabbath prayer, and do a Psalms, and then we'll go into little current events and some need-to-know information. Okay. That being said, our moment of silence is for Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our captivity, our prophesied captivity, return us to our homeland. Oh Lord, we come this day praising Thee, worshiping Thee for Thy might and power and great understanding. Oh Lord, the end times that You have foretold unto us and to our forefathers are upon us. Oh Lord, give us strength and wisdom to endure all that Thou hast foretold. And thank You for another Sabbath. Give us, O Lord, the knowledge to rightly divide Thy words, that they be delivered in righteousness and in truth. There's great confusion among Your inheritance, O Lord, now that You are awakening them. For I know, O Lord, that Your hand is sure and that Your hand is firm. O Lord, we need You so much in these latter days. We will tarry and depend upon You, O Lord, because there's none else besides You, O Lord. You are our deliverer and our redeemer. Peace be unto You. Okay.
Hallelujah.
So we're going to go to the Psalms. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to read Psalm 37. See, to do the job every time. So I'm going to read Psalm 37. And, we're going to go from there. It says, true fate of the wicked. This is the Psalm of David. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord, do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. I'm going to read that again, verse 5, Psalm 37. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. And He shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger, and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, gnasheth upon him his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as have an upright conversation. The sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days that are upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil times, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, with the smoke shall they consume. And the wicked borrow and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him that inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful, and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. Depart from the evil, do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever. But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land, and dwelleth therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law the law of God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous, seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hands, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord, and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them, because they trust in him. Okay, that was Psalm 37, the true state of the wicked. It's a Psalm of David. Any comments or anything pertaining to that?
Yes, I would like to read verse 8 again. Cease from
Okay.
anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. When you do that, you're only causing harm, to yourself.
Right,
Delight yourself in the Lord. Be patient. Wait on him. If you trusting in him, be patient.
right,
You got to
exactly.
cease from anger. Yeah,
And that's in everything you do. All
right,
categories. You
right.
wait on the Lord, and I'm a witness. You know, yeah, you got to come around to understanding that. He says, just to come off of that, he says, uh, rest in the Lord, verse 7, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because the man who bring wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise do evil. So if you do
Yes.
that, you're standing on a sure foundation. You get something? Okay. Anybody got any current events? Okay, I got a couple. Like I was saying before, the thing about this, like I said before, I mean, it's kind of like going under the radar. But like I was saying, 14, 15 years ago, I was telling everybody that was going to Africa, and they thought I was a nutcase. Now look where we at. So I was asking, and then you have to ask yourself, where's this coming from? It's come from the same place where Jeremiah got his. Same place Abraham got his. You fumble with it if you want. But anyway, so it says, I was telling you about these three heads. These three heads in Second Ezra, that in the prophecy, Second Ezra, where he said the three heads was reserved for the end to wake up, right? So let's look at that right quick. I got a video to show you something. We know we got the Edomites over there posing as Israelites. And if Jacob ain't ruling, Esau ruling. So we know Esau ruling. They telling you America is the biggest power in the world, but America is being dictated and controlled by the Edomites over in Israel, the Zionists. So let's look at it. And like I said, you got to ask yourself, when you see this kind of stuff, you got to ask yourself, what's up? So here we go. 2 on it. Here we go.
Israel's Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has met with Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time for talks focusing on Iran and other regional security issues. The two leaders also met at Russia's.
So we know that Russia and China, we said two little wings came over there to rest under the head. There was these 2 little wings were reserved for the end. They was going to have a short range, short and violent. And we know that that's Russia and China, and we looking right at them right now. So,
Black Sea Resort in Sochi. Russian President Vladimir Putin hailed the warm relations between the two nations.
Israel
also noted that the two shared some common ground and also some opportunities for cooperation in the Middle East. Putin hoped for continuity of the trusting relationship that Russia has built with the previous Israeli government.
So he decided with the Russia, but America and Israel are supposed to be connected at the hip. See that? This is yesterday.
I hope that despite the internal political battles over Russian-Israeli relations, your government will pursue a policy of continuity. We have developed a fairly business-oriented, trusting relationship with the previous government.
Mr. President, for more than 20 years, you have been promoting this process of deepening ties between our countries and bringing them to this level. I want to tell you on behalf of our entire country and all of our people, we see you as a very close and a true friend of the State of Israel.
The ODS, Russia and Israel have developed some close political, economic and cultural ties. The strong relationship has also helped the two countries tackle some delicate and very divisive issues, such as the situation that is unfolding in Syria, where Moscow has teamed up with Tehran to shore up the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's rule. And this, of course, put...
Okay, so we see that it says the Second Ezra is a prophecy that hadn't came to pass yet, that the middle head was going to wake up all of a sudden and eat up the 2 heads on each side of it. And I said that it was Israel, Edomite. Like I say, when you understand the scriptures, he tells you if Jacob ain't ruling, Esau ruling. So contrary to what you've been dealing with all this time, since Israel was the abomination that make a desert happen, Esau been ruling, but he's behind the scenes. That's how the New Testament come in there. He's the one behind that. But let me get this right quick. Okay. Yeah. So like I was saying, Shalom. So like I was saying, he's ruling behind the scenes. He's the one dictating. I said the 4th beast is able to transform itself 10 different times. He's the one behind these transformations. He's the one causing the relocations. He got all the money and he hoarded up all the resources in the world, controlling them. He's able to cause this 4th beast to relocate from one place to the next. Right? And he also can cause them to fall when he wants to. Like I said, they built up Hitler, and Hitler got out of control. He rounded up the rest of the nations of the world, came in and shut Hitler down. Napoleon did the same thing. You know, Ephraim got together, got all the rest of the nations together, and ended up cornering him at Waterloo and knocked him off. He got beside himself. Forgot who brought him into power. Okay? Like I said, do your homework. Do your research. So, and here go another one right here. And I wanted to look at the, when you understand what's going on, you look at the satire that's in this. Okay? Here we go. Can you see that?
Not yet. It's trying to come up. Yes, now we can.
So the top, the caption says, U.S. warns China risk embarrassment if it backs Russia or Ukraine. Come on, U.S. ain't no position to warn China about if somebody embarrassing somebody. They're the ones gonna get embarrassed. See that? It says, as the diplomatic standoff between the West and Russia over Ukraine deepens, Russian President Vladimir Putin found a friendly audience in Chinese President Xi Jinping Friday when the two leaders affirmed mutual grievances about the U.S.-led international order. So I just showed you Thursday that Russia came out and with China letting them know that they with Russia. And then yesterday, lo and behold, the Israelis come out and say they with Russia. And think about that. Like I said, America and Russia America and Israel supposed to be connected at the hip. All of a sudden, Russia over here with Israel over here with Russia. So you connecting the dots. It ain't hard to figure out what's getting ready to happen. So it says the significance of Putin and Beijing meeting on the eve of the Beijing Winter Olympics was not lost on the United States. And Daniel Brinks, the top U.S. diplomat for East Asia, said that Moscow and Beijing have grown more closely aligned, but if Russia chooses to invade Ukraine again, the move could embarrass Beijing because it suggests that China is willing to tolerate or tactically support Russia's efforts to coerce Ukraine. Okay, he told reporters, right? So like I said before, with all that's going on with America, they ain't in no position to tell China, you know what I'm saying? That don't look good. Okay? Any comments? Okay. I got a little some like I guess you can say it's need to know information. And it's about you would think it's something simple, but it's about corn. You know, the origins of corn. So I want to play a little bit of it, and then anybody have any comments, we talk about it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay.
What if you could get rid of your kitchen garbage by pushing the button?
Hey, I'm Matt from
Notice how the Most High always mentioning corn in the Old Testament, in the Tanakh.
So what I want to show you first is basically the origins of corn, where it comes from, and the mystery surrounding corn and these type of plants that appear to have been genetically altered at some point. So you see how the scientists have been able to track the origin of corn to the Americas and how, and found its ancestor, and they determined that it was somehow genetically modified to get to the corn that we see today. So at some point, some great science, some ancient knowledge, the Creator, some divine knowledge, some science allowed us to have the fruits and vegetables we have today. And even though they know that this was genetically altered, they still don't know how or who. But all the ancient stories we're gonna start seeing, they give credit to the gods. We read that earlier as well. If you guys remember, in Tibet, it's the first agricultural plant that was given to the people by the gods, right? So we're gonna start seeing this. And again, today, scientists still don't know how it was altered. This plant. There's a lot of articles you can read online about this. This one right here says maize, or corn, as it is called in the United States. It is one of the 3 cereal grains upon which world civilizations were founded. It has been described as having a passport without a birth certificate. Wilkes and Goodman, 1996. Because although it is one of the most widely grown food crops around the globe today, its precise parentage has been controversial, right? So they don't know how it was made. Great civilizations need a great asset. Ancient Egypt had the Nile, right? We're starting to connect that with Mississippi River, So, do the research. The Mayans had maize, or corn as others call it. So maize is accepted as man's first and perhaps his greatest feat of genetic engineering. Okay, what we just talked about, what we saw in the video, how it was altered, right? Continuing. It nevertheless remains a largely enigmatic crop. Despite decades of research, there is no known wild ancestor. There is no known way to evolve a non-chattering variant. It is known that maize does not have a method to propagate itself and thus relies on humans to survive as a species. Alright, so these things corn doesn't grow in the wild. It's human help to harvest and, to especially to genetically alter it for it to become like the corn we see today, like especially that big sweet corn, Indeed, the human race, and definitely in the pre-Columbian New World, has entered into a powerful symbiosis with this cereal that has fed and continues to feed us. Alright, so corn is very important to humans, not only, ancient world or certain countries, it's important to most all civilizations, all humans. At DNA level, all major cereals, rice, wheat, barley, and maize are very much alike. But maize is and acts differently from the rest. Left unattended, the other cereals will propagate themselves. Maize will not. The reason for this is that maize kernels are located inside a tough husk, and hence it requires humans to sow maize. It cannot reproduce on its own. This is, of course, a major evolutionary disadvantage. But as maize has been created by mankind, we have always guaranteed that the species does not die out. Far from it. You see, if we stop growing it, it will go extinct. That's what they're saying, because it doesn't grow in the wild. So you guys can understand that. It only grows because we plant it. So linked to us harvesting it, taking care of it, that's how it's evolved. No wild ancestor of maize has ever been found. Despite decades of research, maize's closest relative is a mountain grass called teosinte, which we saw in the video, which looks nothing like maize. It is neither a practical food source. Most grasses develop grain near the top of the stem, which when mature will let the seed shatter and the grains will fall to the ground, from which new grasses will grow. It guarantees the survival of the species, but it is ill-suited for human agriculture. In wild wheat and barley, a single gene mutation has blocked such shattering, which meant that these cereals became more easily harvestable for humans. Teosinte shatters too, and there is no known non-shattering variant. Furthermore, at least 16 genes, teosinte and maize shattering, resulting in a complex problem for those trying to figure out how a non-shattering variation of maize might have occurred naturally by accident, or how our distant ancestors figured out how to create such a feat. Scientists continue to have no idea. And
okay, any comments on that?
Yeah, I didn't realize that about corn. I know they've said, the current day corn, don't eat it because it's been genetically modified. But I didn't realize that it's always been
Is that something?
genetically modified.
Right. And so that tells you that the technology had, outweighs ours. Whatever they was doing. Yeah. So yeah. And like I said, it's all in the scriptures. Corn, you mentioned corn and wine all in the Old Testament. So let me get out of this. Ooh. Yeah, so with that being said, I was gonna go to open up for some Q&A, Anybody have any Q&A or any questions or comments about anything before we go move forward to the topic dealing with the book of Hosea? Okay, well, I just got some for food for thought. It's a golden nugget about this, like I say, I'm just putting stuff out, connect dots, and trying to wake people up using simplicity. So the three angels in Genesis chapter 18. Let's look at that right quick. Just like a comparison and contrast to show you there's a dead cat on the line between the Old and New Testament. I'm in Genesis chapter 18. So it says, chapter 18, the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. This is verse 1 of chapter 18 of Genesis. And verse 2, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. So we know these 3 angels, these are 3 angels. So and Abraham had already met them before. The Lord, which is an angel, and he had met these other two angels before in Genesis chapter 12. Let's look at it right quick. He met him in right here. Let me see. Chapter 12. It says, let me get it. Chapter 12, it says, verse 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto the land that I will show thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and the Lord went with him. See that? He went with him. And Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Hebron. And Abraham took Sarah his wife, Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the soul that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, to the plains of Moriah, and the Canaanites then was in the land. Here we go, verse 7. And the Lord appeared. See that? Lord appeared unto him, unto Abraham, and said, thy seed will I give this land, and there he built an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. So that's where he met him at, right here. And he made an altar. So now they're coming back. I'm in chapter 18, back in chapter 18. The Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, verse 1, 18, chapter 18, Genesis. He sat in the tent door in the heat of the day, lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men, these 3 angels. He already met them before. So he knows that the Lord, he knows how they look. So he went directly to the Lord. 2 of them is Uri, we're gonna go on and call it out. It's Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael with him. Okay. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in 18. It says, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, bowed himself toward the ground. And then, so I read everything I read was to show you that he had met him, he knowed him, and these angels are superior than mankind. So it's required them to worship them. So he got down on the ground and worshiped them. So we see right here that he got on the ground, bowed down, and worshiped him, right? And so then he said, just for GP, let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. So let's look at it. We're going all the way in. Go back to JC. Remember what they did? Wash his feet. You're a man. Wash their feet. I just want you to show you where these clowns getting all these information and injecting all this stuff in the story. So this is an angel right here. Abraham bowed to him and worshiped him and washed their feet because they had came walking through the desert for a long ways, and Abraham washed their feet, and he made cakes and brought calf out there, and they ate on verse 8. And he took butter, milk, and a calf which he had dressed and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they ate. So this is where they get the story of JC washing his feet. Just, you know, you want to connect the dots. So anyway, he bowed down because of who these angels. They're greater than man. So now we over in Revelation chapter 19. Like I say, get some food for thought. You can chew on it, whatever you want to do with it. So I'm in Revelation 19. It says, I'm going to start at so-called, verse 6, so-called marriage supper of the Lamb. And I heard, as it were, the voice of a great multitude, as the voice of many waters, and the voice of many thundering, saying, Hallelujah, hallelujah, for the Lord God, omnipotent, reign. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife have made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. And he says unto me, this the angel, right? Talking. He says unto me, right. So we're going to see that this right here, verse 9 is a lie. You can do something with it or whatever you want to do with it. He says unto me, right. Blessed are they which call unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he says unto me, these are the true sayings. See that? These are the true sayings of God. Read it again. And he says unto me, right. Blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he says unto me, these are the true sayings of God. Then verse 10, you go to hook. And I fell at his feet to worship him. Remember what Abraham did with the Lord in Genesis 18. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see if thou do not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus Christ, worship God. For the testimony of Jesus is in the spirit of prophecy. So did the three angels in Genesis 18 tell him that?
Nope.
Did he tell them don't worship him? That's his brother. They servants together in worshiping the Lord. They ain't telling them.
Half of the time they the brother, then they the bride. It's
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we see how crazy, how ridiculous this is. And the whole time, the Lord is the one. If anybody ain't gonna come to the marriage supper of the Lamb and over the supper, it's gonna be the Lord of hosts. Look at this. See how crazy this is? So imagine if you trying to line something up and you trying to include this garbage in it. Come on. See that? Yeah, thought I'd show you that.
Sir.
You got something? Okay. So anybody got any comments on that?
I have a question about what you read earlier in Genesis 12.
Okay.
When you were reading it, I noticed that it said that the Lord told Abram, because he's Abram, I guess at that time, it said, get out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house.
Right.
And I remember reading that about what his father was, making all those shit. But it said, get thee out of the country and from thy kindred. And he took Lot. So Lot wasn't even supposed to go.
Well, you have to go back to Jasher. That's what I'm saying about,
the missing pieces. Yeah, what happened in Jasher?
Yeah, well, he Abraham was responsible for Lot daddy getting killed, Terah. Remember? Nimrod killed Terah, so Lot responsible for him.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay.
So that lets you know that Jasher, that legitimate Jasher. Like I was showing, like I was saying yesterday with Abraham. He said they Ephraim left early, according to the prophecy of old that Abraham had gave them. And ain't but one prophecy. It's in Genesis 15.
Right.
So you can apply Genesis 15 to the captivity over in America. Because he just told you in two different places in Genesis 75 that the prophecy of Abraham was applied to Egypt when they was in Egypt. That he was the one they was looking back to guide them through the prophecy, just like they was looking back at Jeremiah to guide them through the prophecy in Babylon. And that's major. That's major because you off. If you over there dealing with Abraham applying him to the latter days, you off. Yeah, okay. Okay. So did I answer your question?
Yes, I have Book of Joshua. I just need to pull it out.
Yeah, 75, chapter 75.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm doing right here is I'm in Hosea. You know, I brought up some stuff in Hosea. I think it was Tuesday. So I'm gonna start, with the understanding of what I just said. We're gonna start in Hosea chapter 7, and then you'll see that a lot of what Hosea is talking about it applies to us today. So let me look at it right quick. Like I said, you got a lot of different things that people want to discuss about, Sabbath and all that. But we're in the critical point in our history as Israelites. So you talk about the things that need to be talked about. So let me get it. Okay, Hosea chapter 7. Read. Okay, it says, Israel has rebelled against God. When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered. Notice how Ephraim keep coming up. That was discovered. And the wickedness of Samaria, for they committed falsehoods, and the thief can't cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoiled it without. That's it. That's Obadiah, in case you don't know. And they consider not in their hearts that I remembered all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before their face, and they make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. So let's look at verse 2. I want to make this plain right here. Verse 2 says, and they consider not. See this happening every day now, especially with Israelites. They're not understanding why they're not moving forward. It says, verse 2, they consider not in their hearts. See that I remember all their wickedness. They don't understand that. He remember all their wickedness. And look at this. None now their own doings have beset them about. See that? So recompense for sin, transgression. He's gonna get recompense. We read that in Psalm 37 when he says, I'm a judge. Don't worry about what the wicked doing, the sins and their transgressions, because you're gonna look for them and they're gonna be not. Why they not? Because they sins that came back in their face, and the Most High didn't judge them. So what you doing is you steady waiting on him, and you staying away from sin, because if you don't, it's gonna beset you. So I'm gonna read it again. They consider not in their hearts. Nobody. They consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before their face. They make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. So when Israel doing wickedly like that, those other nations glad because they already know that's going to end up come back in their face and beset them. 4, they are all adulterers and oven heated by the baker, who ceases from rising after he have kneaded the dough until it is leavened. In the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretches out his hand with scorners, for they have made ready their hearts like an oven, whilst they lie in wait. Their baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning he burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth unto me. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all this. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. So let's look at that. So it says, Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt and they go to Assyria. So let's look at that. So let's look at the history of that. We just saw, I was talking about Joshua 75. They was in Egypt, and Abraham had gave them a prophecy that they was going to be there for 400 years. And so when they decided to come out before the 400 years, they got gold and silver and decided to come out before the prophecy was manifested itself, and they got in trouble behind it. So they went after he delivered them from Egypt. A lot of people don't know this, but they went back there again. That's where Jeroboam came from. Jeroboam is a Ephraimite. Jeroboam, him and a lot of his descendants was in Egypt, and the Lord called him from Egypt to come to Israel. That's how the 10 tribes got split. Rehoboam, which is David's son, received Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and Ephraim, which is Jeroboam, which is an Ephraimite, he called out of Egypt. So they trust in the gods and the system in Egypt more than they trust in Yahweh. That's what he's telling you right there. So 11 says, Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt and they go to Assyria. See that? That's 10 tribes. They went to Assyria. 12. And when they shall go, I will spread my net upon them, and I will bring them down as the fowls of the heaven, and I will chasten them as their congregation have heard. And he continues to have to do this to Ephraim. Bullheaded. We see they left Egypt early. 13, woe unto them, for they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me. They have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me. And they have not cried unto me with their heart. When they will howl upon their beds, they assemble themselves for corn and wine, and they rebelled against me. Though I have bound and strengthened their arms, yet do they imagine mischief against me. They return, but not to the Most High. They are like a deceitful bow. Their princes shall fall by the sword for the rage of their tongue. This shall be their derision in the land of Egypt. Okay, now we're in chapter 8. So I ask a question. Anybody ever wonder why Ephraim's so bullheaded like they are?
Yeah, I'm trying to identify them now. Yeah, why are they? What caused that?
Their mother Joseph married a Egyptian woman.
Mm.
You know what he told them, right? Don't marry their sons or daughters, and don't let your daughters marry their sons.
Mm-hmm.
So the Most High respecting Ephraim and Manasseh because of Joseph. Joseph got the seed, but still the mother is, it got
Right.
DNA. The DNA, he got some of the mama DNA in them too.
you just never know what it's gonna turn out to be like.
So go to Absalom. You think why Absalom the way he is? Go back to his mama. She wasn't no Israelite woman. Yeah, so like I say, so they want to fumble with that. I wanted to give them something smooth, but that's the truth of the matter. Anyway, so I'm in chapter 8. It says, sow the wind and reap a whirlwind. That's what I just read in verse 2, chapter 7. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. Same thing. Sow to the wind and reap a whirlwind. Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and transgressed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, no, we know thee. Israel have cast off the thing that is good, and the enemy shall pursue him. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols, that they may be cut off. The calf of Samaria have cast thee off. Mine anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere they attain to innocency? So notice the calf of Samaria. Ain't that what Aaron made? A calf? Hello?
Yes,
So
when they were with Moses and
yeah, that comes out of Egypt. All that's out of Egypt. Calf, golden calf, all this come out of Egypt. So when Zerubbabel, he was in Egypt. These Ephraimites connected to Egypt. They love Egypt more than they love the Lord of hosts. So when Jeroboam came back, he gave him 10 tribes. He built a temple down there amongst in Samaria with calves, golden calves, the same thing Aaron did. So 6 says, for from Israel was it also the workman's made it. Therefore it is not God, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they have sown the wind, see that? And they have reaped the whirlwind. The whirlwind is Ezekiel 37, Yah in the whirlwind. They sold some garbage and made an idol and called the whirlwind to come. It have no stalk. The bud shall yield no meal, for so be it. So if so be it yield, the strangers shall swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein no pleasure. So let's look at that. Verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles. Third and fourth beast. So this Hosea talking to us, the Gentiles. See that? Not the Chaldeans or the Medes and Persians. He says, Israel is swallowed up. Swallowed up by who? Now shall they be among the Gentiles. Same as in Deuteronomy 28. As a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. And they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim have hired lovers. Yea, they have hired among the nations. Now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes, because Ephraim have made many idols to sin. Altars shall be unto him to a sin. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. They sacrifice flesh. Here we go. Just kill JC right here. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offering and eat it. But the Lord accepted them not. See that? So he don't deal with no human sacrifices. See that? They sacrifice flesh. This human flesh. Right? JC. That's what JC supposed to be. A human sacrifice. The Lord took his covering off him and allowed him to be beat down. The passion of the Christ. That's a lie. So 13.
Yeah, that's powerful right there.
Right. He says they sacrifice flesh for the sacrifice of mine offering and eat it, but the Lord accepted them not. See that? So he ain't dealing with that. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sin. They shall return to Egypt. See, Ephraim got a problem with it. His problem is Egypt. It says 14, for Israel have forgotten his maker and builded temples, and Judah have multiplied fenced cities, but I will send a fire upon his cities, and it shall devour the palaces thereof. Okay, I'm gonna read one more chapter. I'm gonna read chapter 9. The days of visitation have come. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people, for thou hast gone a whoring from thy God. Thou hast loved a reward upon every corn floor. The floor of the winepress shall not feed them, and the new wine shall fail in her. So let's look at something. This is another thing I see when people are trying to write divide scriptures. So it says right here, this is the day of the Most High visitation. So like I said, it's many days of his visitation. Israel, when Israel's sinning, it's a time where he's going to show up and visit them. And when he comes to visit them, he bringing judgment and correction. So if you go to Malachi right quick, chapter 4, it says, the coming day of the Lord. That ain't good. You know what I'm saying? That's judgment. So he says, Malachi 4:1, for behold, the day cometh that it shall burn as an oven. See that? That ain't nothing good. Burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, see that, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So it's judgment. It's good for the righteous, but if you ain't righteous, you ain't right, like he said, you ain't right in your heart. Yeah. So I'm in Hosea chapter 9, verse 1. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people, for thou hast gone a whoring from thy God. Thou hast loved a reward upon every corn floor. The floor and the winepress shall not feed them, and the new wine shall fail in her. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land. But Ephraim shall return to Egypt. There you go again. And they shall eat unclean things in Assyria. They shall not offer wine offerings of the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as bread of mourners. All that eat thereof shall be polluted, for their bread and for their soul shall not come into the house of the Lord. What will ye do in the solemn day and the day of the feast of the Lord? For lo, they are gone because of destruction. Egypt shall gather them up. Memphis shall bury them. The pleasant places for their silver, needles shall possess them. Thorns shall be in their tabernacle. So let's look at this. Everybody looking for Ephraim, right? They say Ephraim is tied to the 10 tribes. They say they over here in America. They came here to America. So he says right here. Let me go back up. Verse 3, chapter 9. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt. See that? It don't look like America to me. Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things. They shall not offer wine offerings to the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as bread of mourners. All that eat thereof shall be polluted, for their bread and for their soul shall not come into the house of the Lord. Now look at this. He just told you in 3, they going back to Egypt because they love Egypt. 5, what will ye do in the solemn day, in the day of the feast of the Lord? 6, for lo, they are gone because of destruction. Egypt, this is where they're going to die in. Egypt shall gather them up. See that? Not America. Memphis shall bury them. See that? So they're going to live and die right there in Egypt. They love Egypt. So everybody looking for Ephraim. So he says, the pleasant places are there of silver, needles shall possess them, thorns shall be in their tabernacles. The days of visitation are come, the days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool, the spiritual man is mad, for the multitude of thy iniquities and the great hatred. The watchman of Ephraim was with my God, but the prophet is a snare of the fowler in all his ways, and the hatred is in the house of his God. They have deeply corrupted themselves. So that is Ephraim. They have deeply corrupted themselves as in the days of Gibeah. Therefore, he will remember their iniquity and he will visit their sins. See, when he comes, their visitation is coming to deal with sin, judgment. 10, I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time, but they went to Baal Peor and separated themselves unto that shame, and their abominations was according as they loved. As for Ephraim, their glory shall fly away like a bird from the birth, and from the womb, and from the conception. Though they bring up their children, yet will I bereave them, that there shall not be a man left. Yea, woe also to them when I depart from them. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. Give them, O Lord, what wilt thou give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breast. All their wickedness is in Gilead, for there I hated them. For the wickedness of their doings, I will drive them out of mine house, and I will love them no more. All their princes are revolters. Ephraim is smitten, their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yea, though they bring forth, yet will I slay even the beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him, and they shall be wanderers among the nations. Okay, you see that? It ain't hard to find out where Ephraim at and what happened to him and why. So I'm gonna read verse 10 and I'm gonna cut it off right there. Israel is an empty vine. He bringeth forth fruit unto himself, according to the multitude of his fruit. He have increased the altars, according to the goodness of his land. They have made goodly images. Their heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty. He shall break down their altars. He shall spoil their images. For now they shall say, we have no king, because we fear not the Lord. What then shall a king do to us? They have spoken words, swearing falsely and making a covenant. Thus judgment springeth up as a hemlock in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of Samaria shall fear because of the calves of Bethaven, for the people thereof shall mourn over it, and the priests thereof shall rejoice on it, for the glory thereof, because it is a departed from it. It shall be also carried unto Assyria for a present to the king Jerry. Ephraim shall receive shame, and Israel shall be ashamed of his own counsel. As for Samaria, her king is cut off, as the foam upon the water. The high places also of Avon, the sin of Israel, shall be destroyed. The thorns and the thistles shall come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall on us. O Israel, thou hast seen in the days of Gibeah, there they stood. The battle of Gibeah against the children of iniquity did not overtake them. It is in my desire that I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them when they shall bind themselves in their two furrows. And Ephraim is as a heifer that is taught and loved to tread out the corn. But I passed over upon her fair neck, and I will make Ephraim to ride. Judah shall plow, and Jacob shall break his clods. Sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord, till he come and rain righteousness upon you. Ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity, ye have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou didst trust in thy way, in the multitude of the mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be spoiled as Shalman spoiled Bethel, I can't say this word, Bethabel in the day of battle. The mother was dashed into pieces upon her children. So shall Bethel do unto you because of your great wickedness. In a morning shall the king of Israel utterly be cut off. Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? Something that stuck out? I just wanted to add something to that Ephraim connection with Egypt. Where the mother of the Ephraim is a Egyptian woman. So they love Egypt because they got it. It's pretty much in their blood. That's where their mother came from. Anybody got a comment? Anything you want to talk about before we go?
Real quick, I was just looking at when you were just reading where it said, I will make Ephraim to ride, Judah to plow, and Jacob to break his claws.
Right.
Can you explain that a little bit? Is that kind of Judah shall plow?
Right.
I'm thinking slavery. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that out.
That's captivity, and captivity and punishment for what for their sins.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same if you go to Obadiah. When he get ready to judge when he get ready to judge the Gentile, I'm in Obadiah chapter 17, ain't but one chapter, but verse 17. Let me know when you get it.
I had it.
It says, this is when he judged the Gentile. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be a holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Then 18 in the verse, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire. See that? And the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Ephraim stubble. So the Jacob children together, working together to destroy Esau. Esau is the stubble, but Jacob is a flame. Joseph is they both are fire, and Esau is stubble. So you take that and apply it to what you just read in that other books.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So in so many words, they all participating in their own, like he said, they sin and came back in their face. They all participated in the sin, so they all gonna participate in the judgment. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay. Did anybody watch any of those videos yet? Any of the video? The one from last
Not
night?
yet. I need to watch it.
Did you watch that Star?
I've started it, but I didn't finish that either. It's really
Okay.
good. It's really good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta finish that today, and then I'll watch some of the videos today too. Before try to watch at least one or two before tonight.
Right. Yeah. Another one to watch to go along with that is, you ever seen Gods of Egypt?
No, I heard about that. The Gods of Egypt. I hadn't seen that one.
Gods of Egypt. You gotta get you some popcorn, Kool-Aid. Yeah. Yeah. That's
All right.
that's a doozy there. Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, let me hit this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see y'all I'll see y'all at 6 o'clock for the evening Sabbath class. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.